that I bought. 200 bucks for 200 cards. Sounds like a fair deal. Fair deal. So this is the Ishin deck. A lot of cards will go that way or that side because a lot of them are for Ishin. We use those instead of lands because fucking jewelry, buddy. But I mean, I'm not kidding. Like all of this is 200 bucks for 200 cards. I think this was maybe costy at 15 or 14 bucks. These are cheap. Love those. They're like $1.50 each. Come into play untap, give you the colors. And then when it's a lot, these are all foil, full art. Straight from the set, not Secret Lair. I seem to like those. These were already there, just good lands. This one looks nice. Fucking Ghost is flickering because the foil, I like, doesn't give it justice. It's really nice. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. So all of these are Ishin possible cards because they make 1/1s. Wear and Tear, what a great card. For artifact or enchantment for 2 or 1. It's like the best one. We'll play it, maybe not. These all do damage when a creature enters, when a creature attacks. Just a lot of possible cards. Put them aside. But literally all I'm going to show you is all within 200 bucks. Find cards. One flips. One gives +1 to your commander. We start with Secluded Courtyard. Give you a color of any creature type. So if you play like humans or something, you probably play this. So these I'm going to end up cutting, I think. And these are interesting. So I bought too many Mother of Runes. I think I have like 3. So great card. Probably going to give some protection for Ishin. The Impetus, they goad your other creatures. They're really cool. This guy, when he attacks, he deals 3 damage to each opponent. So with Ishin, that's 9, actually 18 damage when he attacks. Making 1/1s, making you lose life, take damage. This guy is a beast with Ishin also. Haste, make 1/1s, blah blah. These will probably just go here. So the rest of it has nothing to do with my newest deck. What the fuck did I buy? So what are those? These are some cards I removed from the Ishin deck. Alright, so we're gonna see some pretty cool stuff. We got some mana dorks that cost 1 and give you 1. So we're gonna see a lot of those. I'm of the opinion that these are like mini Soul Ring. You know what I mean, Mark? What do you think, Mark? These are like mini Soul Rings. Yep. Instead of giving you a colorless, they give you a green mana, which you already have because you play green. And they give you 1 instead of 2. Okay? A lot of good players will play those 1 drops. You know, maybe not all of them. Like this is really like green heavy. You know, or like if you play Llanowar Elf and Mystic Druid, these are like the last options because this guy at least gives you black. Other ones will give you any color. Birds of Paradise. Fucking what else? Noble Hierarch. You know, there's a lot of other things that give you other colors. So, and if you bring those, you really want to accelerate turn 1. You know. So anyway, they're part of the good cards. That if a deck wants to do that, they need to buy those. But like if you have an extra Llanowar Elf anywhere and you don't have any other ones that cost 1 and ramps you, I think there's nothing wrong with throwing in your Llanowar Elf. Used to be a big card. But this guy, when he attacks, you put dragons. I'm going to put it in my dragons deck. Wanted to take a look at this kind of foil on this Forgotten Realm adventure. Looks okay. These Hideaways are gonna go in the Dragons deck. I think they're underrated, and people should play them more. Because you can cast, you get to get a free card, and you get to cast it for almost free also. A Secluded Courtyard, I always like to buy those foil when they come out. They're like $4, but they end up being like 15. These, this, more of these for the Dragons deck. Get some big betties under this thing and just cast it for cheap as fuck. Where's the rest? So again, more more pain lands. I think they're fucking all-stars. They're like $1.50 each. And yes, they've been printed too much, but you never know when the latest set is they're gonna run out of it, and then people are gonna find out that the other ones are starting to run out of if they don't print it. If they stop printing it, I mean, these lands could go to $4 overnight because they are that good. They are good. Some bullshit counterspell in white. Again, Nature's Claim, cost 1. Destroy artifact or enchantment, a foil, because it's too cheap. I'm not kidding. War Cadence. This thing can make sure you don't block. Lizard Blade, double strike, cool. This is Talia, Guardian of Traben, but an alternate art, and I really like the design. I can really identify it as a Talia, so I really like it overall. Talia, very oppressive card. A Brutal Ore Chief, I think I bought like 3, because I'm trying to find one that's foil, and I can't, and I'm frustrated. Campaign of Vengeance. I end up buying 4 out of a mistake. Like 25 cents. Again, Ishin stuff. So this guy I thought I would play in Ishin also. When a creature attacks alone, exile the top card of your library, you may play that card. Can't see dicks, huh? Oop, is that better? Try bothering the program for a second. So this thing here, that's a really good card. But you have to attack alone to then start getting card, kind of card draw. Card draw-ish. So I picked up a foil. I think any deck that really attacks alone, this is a great card in red to have in your deck. Some other colors might do it better, but honestly, this is a great enchantment for those colors, for decks that attack alone. What am I looking for? Camera? Camera. Autofocus. Fucking bad autofocus, you know that. This is an Erut, Tormented Prophet. Erut costs that much, and she's a 2/4. And when you draw a card, instead you exile 2 cards, and you can play those cards. It's just an alternate art of Erut. There is a deck I play Erut. Olin Block. When he trains, you get to exile a creature from a graveyard. When he leaves, you return them all, and training is like when he attacks or something. Super easy. This could be a fine card. Flame Skull looks fantastic. I feel like I'm 13 again, dude. Look at this shit. Fantastic. But, yeah, maybe it's going to be a red card at some point. Can't block, 3/1 flying. If you do exile the top card of your library, you may play those cards. Seems like a good red card. Really cheap, full art. So we're just building the red pile, of course. Nothing new. Guardian of Fate, because I have Fate in red. Flash, Vigilance, enters, exile, enter the battlefield, any number of target or other target creature you control phase out. So he protects your creatures, so just your creatures, right? Not your planeswalkers or your artifacts or whatever, but very interesting. Just protect everything. A Reaper Talisman looks insane when you attack. Target player loses 2 life, gain 2 life, but must attack alone. So again, if there's a deck out there that wants to attack with a creature, this seems pretty good. Thieves Tool. Create a token, and a power 3 or less can't be blocked. So I thought about putting it in the Ishin, but it ends up not really changing the game. These are the very nice Japanese cards. This is a Defiant Strike. It says right here, I think. The Ball's Trickery. Yes, full art foil. I think it was maybe $5, right? So it's a hard counter in red. Yes, somebody has to get something, but same with Chaos Warp, and people play that. I think that's really good. A little bend. We need to bend it now. Yes, nice. Very good. Much better. Hey, Scavenging Ooze for like $1. Full art foil. Thank you. Scavenging Ooze. Great card. Always been a great card. Am I mute? Can you hear me, Mark? Great card. So just able to... Anyway, it's a proven card. Happy to have a really, really nice looking one. A lot of them are foils because the difference in foil was like, 20% or so. Not like double the price or anything. This could go in a dragon's deck. It just deals damage, goes back to your hand. This can make 2/2s when you attack with Ishin, maybe. A little too much to cost. This is... I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this. When he attacks, target creature can't block this turn. So when you attack with a 5/4, 2 creatures don't block. Seems good. But at 5 casting cost, I don't think I'll play it. This one is pretty cool. When he attacks, you scry 1. That's pretty dope. You get to look at your card and say yes or no. And with Ishin, you can do it a few times, but he has to attack. It can't be like something else that attacks. If something else would attack and it says whenever a creature attacks, scry 1, or whenever you attack, scry 1, I think I might have played it. But this is just a lizard 2/1 who's gonna die. This guy, when he attacks, target creature can't block. I have other ones. Otrimi. Thought about putting Otrimi, just a few bucks for Otrimi. With Atraxa. Giving her trample as it mutates. Wow, that sounds fucking dirty, dude. A mutating Atraxa. Mark, you want to see a mutating Atraxa? Arrest. Can't attack or block. So these are pretty cool. I thought about using it with Ishin again. Just put it on your creature. You can't attack, can't block, can't use it. This fucks up a commander. I think these cards might be more reasonable than we think. Imagine I put this on your commander, Mark. You can't attack, you can't block, you can't activate it. That really sucks.
Oui.
So I like them. This guy's pretty cool. So lose life, Ishin, an old ass fucking weird looking Defile. I think it's a good card. 1 black, instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each swamp. Any black, heavy black decks could use this. It's an instant -5/-5 or so. A very easy removal. Cool card. This guy will tap creatures. This guy will make sure you don't block for 1. Balance. So this is pretty cool looking balance from, what is it, from the vault? No, it's Secret Lair. Balance. But it was really warped. So I went, on the other side. Like this. And shaped it like I always do. But for the first time, it creased the card. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh.
It's a real crease. The metal creased. It was so like warped. It really could not take it. So it's the first time. That's okay. It's like a $2 card or whatever. Because it's banned everywhere, right? Maybe not in Commander. So if I can play it, I'll just play it. A special version of Treskai Decafil. So this guy can win you the game if you set up correctly. I do have a deck, I could use it. Whatever this is. These are just more Ishin. Hey, wing shards. Used to be a big card. Wing shards in Legacy, I think. You tap a bunch of creatures, or you have to sacrifice a bunch of creatures. This one makes angels. That's a foil tail's end. Pre-release. I think this might be a really good Commander 1v1 card. You get to counter an activated ability, a triggered ability, and a commander, right? Legendary spell. You counter a commander, counter, right? You want to play your commander, counter. Then we continue. Yeah, my turn. So that feels like a really competitive kind of counter spell. Fracture is a good spell too for 1 white, 1 black, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. Pretty versatile. Thought about playing it in Ishin, but it feels like, you know, as long as it doesn't destroy a creature, then which is what Ishin would still like to do, to pass, then it feels like a control card, you know? Destroy your artifact, this enchantment, this planeswalker. Feels very like control deck kind of tech. So that's why I won't play it in Ishin. This is just some old ass foil that I just think it's old as fuck. These are good, proven cards. I bet these were played in Standard too. And these are always played somewhere. People should pick those up if they don't have them. For $1 something each, you can put them in all your decks. Creeping Tar Pit, everybody saw it. This is a, what is it called? Expedition? Expedition? But it's the cheapest expedition. It's something like $3 or $4. So you can get expeditions for that cheap. You know, so I said, well, they've never done a better creature land than those that came out in Zendikar. So you know what? I said, you know what? For a few bucks, I'll pick one up. You never know where they might go. Demotion seems pretty good for 1 mana. Target creature can't attack, can't block. Sorry, it can attack, but it cannot block, and its activated abilities can be activated. So I think this for 1 mana might see more play than we think. These are just old cards that are on the reserve list, most likely. Put them here. This thing gives you a poison counter when it hits you. Do you play Swamp Mosquito, Mark, in your Infect deck? Infect deck,
non.
Mark?
Non.
Swamp Mosquito? No?
Non. J'ai plus d'Infect deck.
I know, right? 0/1. And if it's not blocked, it's flying. It will give a poison counter. Yeah, for 2, man. That's pretty good, man.
Ouais.
Fucking flying Infect for 2?
Ouais,
That's fucking sick. But I just found it so weird. You know, Swamp Mosquito. Just so it looks so weird.
Swamp Mosquito.
So of course the art cards, everybody knows I love my art cards. I'm probably going to slow down on the art cards. I just want it to be in the early kind of art cards, and if they do pick up at some point for any reason, then I'll have the early ones with the nice signatures where everybody didn't decide to fucking not put their signatures anymore. You know, fucking I don't know. This lightning bolt is shut. Okay? That's how we say in where I'm from. Shut.
Shut.
It's shut, huh?
Ouais, man.
No, man, like, look at this thing. Absolute gorgy. If someone wants to play this as a lightning bolt...
C'est juste des hard cards de même, quoi?
Exactly. It's just
Okay.
that. Just that. We have a dragon. Like, imagine this in front of a dragon deck as a like a display if you want, and you can like see through the box. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like you have this box, you know, and you have like a see through or something, and you can like put this in front. You know what I mean? And then you know
Ouais.
it's your dragon's deck or something. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's just some ideas. Like I think people haven't cracked what they need to do with those yet.
Mm.
You know, or like you want a dragon's token? That's a fine
Yeah.
dragon's token. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Mm.
I don't fucking know. You got Ishin, right? You can put him in the command zone. Maybe this guy instead. Just label the command zone. I don't know. Beautiful art. This is the stamped. So we get the stamps because they are like almost the same price. There's not a big difference. They're like $1 each for these things. They're not even Umezawa. I mean, great looking art, to be fucking honest. Look at this.
Mm.
Autofocus, please.
Ouais, ça marche bien.
Ah ouais, ça marche bien en tabarnak, ça, là.
Ben, ça marcherait bien.
Oh, on va le mettre demain. Apparemment, this is also Satoru Umezawa. Look at this fucking beast. I mean, this looks fucking insane.
Mm. Nice.
Yeah. Like, I have a Planeswalker deck, right? Imagine this is
Mhm.
my Planeswalker deck and I somehow figure a way to make it like this or whatever. I don't fucking know. One each side. I'd have no idea. But looks great. This one with the stamp was actually a little too much for my taste. So I said I'll take it without the stamp. It's like 40 cents. 20 cents or fucking I don't know. Picked up 2 of these for some reason. Great looking art. Great looking card. Sign in blood. Sign in blood.
Hmm.
Just it's the kind of stuff that at some point people will look back and say, "Oh shit, I wish I had those," you know. Urza and what's his face? Yagmoth.
Hmm.
So these are from the original, the first set that had those, the Modern Horizons, right? They are the first set that had art cards, right? So if art cards at some point pick up, first set will be the hardest one to get. So of course we're gonna pick up, you know, the team, the All Star, Urza and Yagmoth. But I can't like always keep spending money on this stuff. You know, it's not really worth shit. So probably gonna slow down on those. This is a weird centaur that has like a print issue. They don't have white where they should have white. So these are just like again misprints slash miscellaneous slash won't see you again in 20 years. Bridge from Below was like $1. It's been banned in Modern. Really strong card. Sunforger was printed again and its price really dropped, kicked down a lot. I think it picked up for like $2 or $3 a Sunforger. It used to be $8. Serene Master, what a weird ass guy. It's a 0-2 for 2. It was only printed in this set, the Commander 2013. Okay, almost 10 years old. When he blocks, it's a 0-2. Exchange its power and the power of target creature it's blocking until end of turn. So he has even better than Death Touch. He's saying your creature is now 0 power, and I am, you know, however much power that is, the creature, and then I block it. And most likely, if you block the right one, you'll end up killing them, right? And he won't die. Weird ass fucking creature. Where do you play this? I don't know. Grasp of Fate, happy to pick up another one. Strong card. Embrace Hike, we saw another one. Tribute to the Wild, each opponent sacrifice an artifact or enchantment. Just like that. For 2, you host 3 things. You don't get to choose them, but you get to hosting. Really cheap, it's like 5 cents. More goading. This guy, when a player attacks one of your opponents, that attack. I don't fucking know. When people attack each other, they make 2/1s that can't attack you. Okay. But you can't make them attack them either with Ishin, so I don't know if I'll play it. Because they don't have to attack. They create 2/1s that are attacking that opponent, but then they don't have to attack again. So, we'll see. This blade, you cost 1. When a creature dies, you keep turning your library until you get a creature with the same type. And put that card into your hand. So it just draws you more cards. A Bag of Devouring. Just a very iconic card from that set. You know what I mean? The Bag of Devouring. Have you ever seen this, Mark? It's the kind of cards that people remember from that set. You know what I mean? I guess it has some utility and it's a little iconic. So since I'm not buying much of that set, I'm happy to pick those up for pennies or whatever the fuck they cost. This guy might be good. He goads a lot of creatures when you hit the player. So you hit a player with the equipment or whatever. They goad all the creatures they have. Maybe. Again, more cards. Reserve list, I believe. These are just artifact reserve list, right? And I saw a video from Moxman who pointed those cards out, and the MTG Moxman. I think he's from Ontario, and he said, look, they're artifacts, they barely cost anything, they do something, they're on the reserve list, they can be played at in any decks. Why not? They're like $1 or $2 each. Yeah, sure. You know, I'll pick some up. Grand Turbine's a weird card. I've always looked at it, never really bought it. It costs 1, and during your upkeep, it gives you 2 colorless mana that you can't play spells with. So you have to like activate abilities with the mana that it gives you on your upkeep. But some old artifacts cost mana to untap, right? Like they don't untap. Some really old shit, you know? Well, this might help you untap. And it only costs 1. So I said, you know what? I'm going to buy one. I don't think it's on the reserve list, though. But we'll see. This guy is for Ishin. This guy, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by this guy. 1 red, sacrifice a goblin, add red. You played that, I think, Muck.
C'est quoi?
Skirk Prospector. So basically, you can play him. So he trades goblins for mana, but if you play him turn 1, and then turn 2 you put... turn 1 you play him. Turn 2 you put your other land. And then you can sacrifice it to make a mana. Right? Tap 2, then play Ishin. Right? Turn 3. So he is absolutely serving the same function as you know, any of those cards that try to ramp you, you know, or like it's like making a treasure or some shit, you know. So it's a little weak because it's just like once, you know, but it still serves a purpose. It can be ramp. It can be ramp. Some old card here that keeps going up because it's only been printed in New Phyrexia. Creatures enter the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. Creature enter the battlefield under your opponent control, they lose a life. Used to actually see some play. Maybe in Modern, I can't remember. but I shit you not, it used to see a little bit of play. They disappeared. The fuck is this? Fuck is this? So this is the mutate that I think is the best, right? Because it mutates for 1 in a blue with flash. But is it flash mutate? I guess. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So basically, if you can put that on anything and then it starts fucking drawing you cards for only 2, right? You know, or 3. It doesn't fly or anything, but like you put it on something that flies and it starts drawing you cards. I think that's pretty cool, and I really like the art. The artist on this doesn't ring a bell necessarily, Antonio Bravo, but overall I said, well, I think that's a pretty cool mutate card, or like it has some value. Creatures can't block. Gadrak, I can't even remember, but it's pretty cheap. I think it's a few dollars. If you guys ever thought about picking up Gadrak, that was a good time. So it's 3 for flying 5/4. Can't attack unless you control 4 or more artifacts. Right? Then he starts swinging. It's the dragon. The flying dragon. At the beginning of your end step, you create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. Right? So he's going to make tokens and he's going to attack. But he's really cheap because he doesn't see play. And these are the mistakes that they sent me. Mistake cards. They were supposed to send me the other Mother of Runes, the one that holds the baby. They sent me this instead. They're like easy to kind of confuse though. And they sent me the wrong Kaito Shizuki. I'm looking for the really fancy art Kaito. So that's what it is with TCG Player. They just, man, how can I blame them? It's 200 cards. You know, I made 2 mistakes. They're probably going to send me, I'm just going to let them know when they're going to send me the right ones free of charge. Thank you. I mean, they're the best. Love these guys. And I think that's it for that. Oh, pretty impressive, all of this for 200. The lands and everything, foils, and fucking half of it is foil. Pretty happy with it. What do you think about it, Mark?
Comment?
What do you think about all of this shit?
C'est bon, man. C'est une bonne achat.
Hey, you like? Yeah. I don't feel like I regret them as much as in my first or second video, you know? When I said I already regret some of them. These, I don't feel like that at all. You know what I mean? Like, feel like everything has value. Like, you know, if I just turn, first off, I got this for free. But if I just turn around and be like, yeah, does this have value? Yeah, I think that's good. Does this have value? Yeah, I think that's good. You know, I'm happy to pick them up at $2 and sell them at 5 or 10 or whatever. This one, yep. All hands on deck, 10 toes. 10 fucking toes. This one, fucking right. You know what I mean? Like, everything's good. Well, maybe not this one, but this one seems alright. Savior, I think, is fine. You know, it's all like possible. Like, this is like $2 or fucking I don't know what. You know, these are all gonna see play. Everybody loves Lizardblade, right? Lizardblade. I think everybody has seen this card. You know what I mean? It's like iconic. Anyway, we're done here. I'm going to bed. Good night.